Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Breaking the Barriers. So as you can see on your screen, today we are going to discuss chapter the third level. This is in CBSE class 12th English course syllabus, and this chapter is quite complicated because the concept of this chapter, the meaning of this chapter, the outcome of this chapter confuses the student. So I'm going to give you a line by line explanation of this chapter. And with that line by line explanation, I'm going to make you understand that what this chapter is all about. I have also added some images for your better understanding. So as you can see on the screen, it is written by Jack Finney. And Jack Finney is an American writer who's known for his science fiction and thriller work. Yes, he likes to write on science fiction and thriller. We all love science fiction, isn't it? So let's start with the explanation. The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, he's trying to say means the president of America, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that there are only two. Now he's saying that the president of New York Central, New York City, New Haven, Hartford, these are all places in America. Okay, cities, counties in America. So he's saying they will swear on the stack of timetables. Stack means a pile, ek dher. And timetable, the rail timetables. We are talking about the railway timetables, according to which the trains come and go. So he's saying keep his hand on the timetables and he'll swear, the president, that there are only two. What are these two? These two are the levels. Now we are here talking about the subway. Subway means underground train system. Okay, we call subway system that system in which the trains or metros run underground. So underground, when these train and metros run, they run in levels. That first level, second level. If you have traveled in metro, Delhi metro, so you must have seen that on many metro stations there are various levels. When we go underground, there is a level, a platform, and after that, for some trains, we need to go down another level. So level means floor. So underground first floor is the first level, and underground second floor is the second level. Okay. So we are talking about the underground railway system, train system. But I say there are three. But he's saying that no, these presidents will swear that there are only two levels or two floors. But I will say, I means the author of this chapter, he's saying that I will say that there are three levels. Because he's saying that I have been on the third level of the Grand Central Station. Now, there are various names given to stations, like in your city, the railway platform, Kanpur Central, it is named Kanpur Central. Similarly, if you go and travel in Delhi Metro, various metro stations are named according to the area, like CP Metro Station, Palika Metro Station. Similarly, this metro station is known as Grand Central Station. Yes, I've taken the obvious step. I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, among others. So, obviously, if there are two levels to a station, and someone will come to you and say that no, there is a third one, एक तीसरा level भी है. What will you say? Are you mad? पागल है क्या आप? ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? वहां तो दो ही level है. यही बोलोगे ना आप? This is what he's saying, that obviously I thought that maybe I'm quite unusual, or I'm talking about some unrealistic things, and that is why he said that I talked to a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist is a person whom you go and talk to when you think that you are not thinking straight, or when you think that you are not thinking logically, when you think that you are turning insane or mad. So he's saying I also went to a psychiatrist and I talked to him. I told him about the third level at the Grand Central Station, and he said it was waking dream wish fulfillment. So when he talked to his psychiatrist friend, the psychiatrist friend said that this is nothing but waking dream wish fulfillment. Means you always dreamed of going to another unusual place, something, some place which is out of this current situation or this current world. And this is a wish which you wanted to be fulfilled. So waking dream wish fulfillment means something that you are dreaming of and you wish and you imagine it to be at a particular place where physically it is not, but you imagine that it is there, and you enter that place and you roam in that place and you enjoy that place, but that is all in your mind, like our dreams. Suppose one day we are dreaming that we have purchased an expensive car, but as soon as you wake up from that dream, you realize that it is all your imagination. Similarly, but that how did that dream came in your mind? Maybe you wish to have a car and that is why that dream came in your mind. So waking dream wish fulfillment means something that you are thinking of that it can happen in your life, and in your imagination you live that dream. He said that he means the psychiatrist friend. So he said that the author is unhappy. That made my wife kind of mad. But he explained that he means the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. So the psychiatrist friend said that maybe you are sad with your present life. And this made his wife really angry because the wife thought maybe he is unhappy because of me. This is a little comical touch that has been given over here. But then the psychiatrist friend said that I mean that today's world is filled with insecurity. We are insecure in our life, insecure for our jobs, insecure for our future. We are fearful in our life. We fear for wars. We worry for the rest of our life. And everybody wanted to escape from these tensions and troubles. So that is what he's saying, that I just wanted to escape. Well, who doesn't? He said, who doesn't want to escape? Everybody want to escape these tensions and worries, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Now, everybody want to get rid of their uh, stress, troubles, and worries in their life, but not everybody go and roam around in a third level which do not exist. Means don't not everybody has this problem, and if Charlie is going through these type of situations in his life, then maybe there is some problem. This is what he's trying to say. But there's the reason, he said, and my friends all agreed. Everything points to it, they claim. But he's saying there's a reason for it, and he's saying my friends also believe in that. Now, what is the reason? We'll see. So, second part is this, the reason. He's saying my stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. Now, he had a habit of collecting stamps. Everybody has a hobby, so he also has a hobby of collecting stamps. And he used to collect stamps, and his friends used to say that this hobby of your collecting stamp is a refuge or a shelter from the reality. Refuge means a shelter. So they are saying the friends say that you try to take a shelter or a refuge from the reality when you collect your stamps. Means with this stamp collecting hobby, you try to cut yourself off from the present world and you try to relive for some moments in the past world. So he said, well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from the reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his days from all I hear. And he started my collection. So he's saying this is not my collection. This is the collection which was started by my grandfather. And before passing away, grandfather gave this collection to his father, and his father before passing away gave this collection to him. So he's saying my grandfather started this collection, and at that time there was no need of refuge from reality because things in those days were quite peaceful and nice. So here he is saying that this could be a reason why I believe that my friends are not right. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of four of practically every US issue. Now you see this image where I am pointing out. This is a stamp block of four. Block of four means four stamps are together stuck over here. Okay. So block of four means four stamps together when they are purchased. So he's saying we are having in this collection block of four of almost all the stamps. First day cover. Now what are first day covers? See this over there where I'm pointing to. This is the first day cover. First day cover means whenever new stamps are launched by the post office, stamp collectors want those stamps. So what they do is they go to the post office, they purchase those stamps, and they mail an envelope to their own address. Now that envelope contains nothing but a blank paper. They put a blank paper in the envelope and they mail it to their own address. Like I go to the post office and I mail some envelope to my own address. And this is how the mail comes to their home in 1 or 2 days. After that, what they do is they do not open the envelope because they know it is nothing but plain paper inside. They keep that envelope as a memory that this is a first day cover, means because on those stamps the post office put their postmark and the postmark has the date. So with the help of that postmark, it's a proof that this cover was posted on so and so date, and they do it on the same day when that stamp was launched. So this is a method through which they have all new stamps on the first day when they are published. This is known as a first day cover. So here you can see is a first day cover. I have tried to explain every difficult part of this chapter through these photos and all images so that you can understand it in a better way. अगर वीडियो अच्छी लगे, समझ में आ रही है, कॉन्सेप्ट अच्छा लग रहा हो तो चैनल सब्सक्राइब जरूर करना और वीडियो को लाइक जरूर करना. Okay, and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, and President Roosevelt is one of the US president in the past, and he's saying he also had a habit of collecting the stamps. Anyway, here's what happened at Grand Central. So he's saying this is how I reached that level of Grand Central. This is something which happened to him a few days ago, and he's now telling you that how he reached that imaginary third level of the Grand Central. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment, so I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. So he's saying one day I was in a hurry to go back to my home and I decided to take the subway or the underground train system because it runs faster than the buses. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. I am just an ordinary guy named Charlie. So here author disclosed his name. He's saying my name is Charlie and I'm 31 years old. And I was wearing a tan gabardine suit. Tan is a color, tan color. You must have seen this color in shoes. And gabardine is a style. Like you wear a three-piece suit, Italian suits similarly. Gabardine suit is also a kind of suit. So I think I was wearing a gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. You can see here in the image. This is a hat, straw hat. Fancy band, you see a band around the hat, this black band. So he was also wearing a hat with a band and his hat was also having a brown, sorry, a band. The color is not mentioned. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, means they were also wearing the band and the suits. And I wasn't trying to escape from anything. Now, this line is adding because previously psychiatrist friend said now that you are trying to escape from the reality, waking dream, wish fulfillment. So he's saying I was just not trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to go home to my wife, Louisa. Okay. So then he says, I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue. Now, Vanderbilt Avenue is the name of the street from where he turned to take the door towards the Grand Central station. And I went down the steps. Steps means stairs to the first level. Now, I told you that subway means underground rail system. So he has to take the steps, and from road now he is coming underground and he entered the station where you take trains like the 20th century. That is the name of the train. So here you find trains like 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level where the suburban trains leave from, tucked into an arched doorway heading for the subway, and got lost. So then from first level he's moving down forward to the second level, and he's saying where first level you can find trains like 20th century, and from the second level you find the suburban trains, and ducked into an arched doorway heading for the subway. Arched doorway, see I have placed an image over here. Arch means bend from top like this. So there was a doorway, means a door which was arched, and from that arched doorway he turned and then he got lost. Now this Grand Central Station according to Charlie is very big with a lot of doors, corridors, lanes, paths, under bridges, and people tend to get lost over here. I've been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doorways, stairs, and corridors. Means he's trying to say Grand Central is always increasing, always developing, always under construction. New tracks being joined, new platforms being constructed, new doors, new stairways, new corridors. So it's easy for people to get lost over here. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. So he's saying, I also usually get lost at Grand Central. Now he's telling an instance कि once, यानी एक बार ऐसा हुआ that I went into a tunnel and that tunnel was 1 mile long. And when I came out in the lobby, that was the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time he's giving you another instance. I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. 3 blocks away means 3 particular lanes away. So he's saying once I came up there. So it's quite easy to get confused and get lost over there. So today also he is somewhat lost. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under the city right now, and its way to Times Square and maybe another to Central Park. So he's saying nobody knows. Maybe there is another tunnel being constructed at the Grand Central, which will lead to the Times Square, that is a place, and another tunnel which will be leading to the Central Park, that is also a place. Maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way to escape. So for so many people, Grand Central has always been the medium for escape, from where they escape from one side of the city and they reach the other side of the city. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into, but I never told my psychiatrist friend about the area. Now he also says that Grand Central is like roots of the trees which are always spreading. You see here the tree, the roots of the tree, they are spreading in all the directions in this image. Similarly, he's saying corridors, lanes, under bridges and all keep spreading throughout the Grand Central subway. The corridor I was in began angling left and slanting downward and thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. So the corridor that he reached, he was walking in that corridor and that corridor starts angling left, means that corridor starts turning towards the left, and with the corridor he also started turning left. But he thought that maybe I'm going wrong, but he kept walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps when you are in some lonely place and that place is closely constructed. Then your footsteps echo, and that is what he is hearing, the echo of his footsteps. And I didn't pass a soul, means there was no one else in the corridor. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead, that means open space and people talking. Then ahead at the other end of the tunnel, he could hear the open space and people talking, and the tunnel took a sharp left turn. And as he turned left with the tunnel, he went down a short stairs. Short flight of stairs means a few stairs, and he came out at the third level of the Grand Central Station. So here in these lines, he has told you how from the second level he reached the third level through a corridor. Now this corridor could be real or could be imaginary. This we will see in the coming part of the chapter. For just a moment I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the room was small. There were fewer ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. Now here everything will tell nostalgic. Nostalgic means something which belongs to the past. So obviously if you talk about 100 years or 200 years ago, like 18th century, 19th century, you will see or you will witness through movies, books and all, because you cannot witness that live because you are living in 21st century, but through movies, books, documentaries, if you witness these 18th and 19th centuries lifestyle, you will see that it was a lot different than our present lifestyle. And that is what the narrator witnessed as soon as he reached that third level. He's saying that ticket windows were fewer than they are today in the modern era, and the information booth was made of wood and old looking, ancient looking. Now in the present scenario everything is made of brick, cement. Okay, nobody use wood to make construct various structures. most of the time. And the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. Green eye shade means a cap which covers your forehead and provides a shade on your eyes. You must have seen people playing golf and tennis. They wear these type of shades. They do not cover your upper part of the head. They just provide a shade, and there's a strap which connects them through around your head. So there was the eye shade, and sleeve protector means people who have the desk job, that throughout the day they have to keep their sleeves on the desk and they have to work. They wear sleeve protectors on their hands so as to protect their shirt sleeves from getting dirty. The light were dim and sort of flickering. Flickering means always shaking. So the light was dim and light was shaking. Now if a light is emitted through a bulb, it does not shake. But here the light is flickering or shaking. Then he saw why the light is flickering, because they were open flame gas lights. You see over here in this image, this man is lighting the open flame gas light. These are structures which are constructed with steel and glass, and in between them people used to lit a fire in a candle or wax or paraffin oil, and through this fire, through the glass, the light used to emit. So they were open flame gas lights. Everything here belongs to that of the past, 18th, to be precise, the later end of the 18th century, 1880 से लेके 1900 तक. There were brass spittoons on the floor. Spittoons means where you spit. If you are chewing tobacco or if you are chewing a chewing gum, you cannot spit it here and there like we do in India. Okay, people are more civilized over there in the Western countries. So you can see an image of a brass spittoon here. And you must have seen spittoons in malls and all. They have these spittoons over there. So these spittoons right now in modern era are made of stainless steel, but in those times they were made of brass, and that is why he's saying brass spittoons. And across the station a glint of light caught my eye. Something was reflecting light which caught his eye. Now if you are wearing a watch and if you try to reflect that watch in the sun, it will emit a reflection. Similarly, a glint reflected in his eye. And what was it? A man was pulling out a gold watch from his vest pocket. Vest means the vest of the three-piece suit. He snapped open the cover, glanced at the watch and frowned. He wore a derby hat, a black four-button suit with tiny lapels. Uh, he had a big black handlebar mustache. See, this is the pocket watch that we are talking about, which the man took out of his vest pocket and he saw the time. Frown means an anger expression. Lapels here, these are the lapels. The folded cloth in the suit is called the lapel. See this portion where I am pointing the cursor and see this portion. These part of the suit are called lapel. So he was wearing a suit with lapels and he was having a handlebar mustache. See in this image, this kind of mustache is known as handlebar mustache. Clear? Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 18th, 19th, something. Then he saw that everybody was dressed like this only. Everybody was following the fashion which was prevalent in the 18th century and the 19th century. Nobody was dressed according to the modern times. I never saw so many beards, sideburns, fancy mustaches in my life. Everybody was growing beards, sideburns, this. You see this image, this man with this style of beard, this is known as sideburns. So everybody was having beards, sideburns and fancy mustache. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeve and skirt to the top of her high button shoes. See this image? This kind of sleeve is known as leg of mutton sleeve. You don't see this type of fashion today because this was the fashion of the 18th century and the 19th century. So she was wearing leg of mutton sleeve and another woman was wearing a skirt with high button shoes. The skirt, she was wearing a long skirt and the skirt reached the edge of the shoe. That means the skirt was a long skirt. I caught the glimpse of the locomotive. Locomotive means the engine. A very small Currier and Ives locomotive. Currier and Ives is the name of a company who manufacture locomotives with a funnel shaped stack. You see here in the image, this is the funnel shaped stack. These usually we used to see in the steam engines. And then I knew, to make sure, I walked over to the newsboy. Newsboy means the boy who used to sell the newspaper, and glanced at the stack, means the bundle of papers which were kept near his feet because he was selling them. It was the World. The newspaper was the World. Like we study in the Times of India, Dainik Jagran, Amar Ujala. Similarly, that newspaper was the World. The World hasn't been published for years, and the World newspaper was not published in present is not published in the present time. It was published in the 18th century. So when he saw that this is the World, he was confirmed that I have traveled to the past. I am in the past. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. Now, President Cleveland was the 22nd president of America, and he ruled in late 80s, 1895, something like that. So, this shows that maybe he's in 1895 or 1890s. I found the front page since in the public library files, and it was printed 11 June 1894. So, maybe he's traveled in 1894. I turned towards the ticket window, knowing that there on the third level at Grand Central Station, I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go in the year 1894. He thought that if I purchased tickets from the ticket window of this third level, I could travel anywhere in the United States with my wife in 1894. Means I can travel in any part of the United States in 1894. I can relive the past life, the life of the 18th century. And with this thought, he was thinking to buy some tickets for him and his wife so that they could travel to the parts of the America in 1890. And I wanted two tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. He wanted to go to Galesburg, Illinois, his hometown where his grandfather used to live. He has always heard good stories about Galesburg, Illinois, and now he wanted to travel to Galesburg, Illinois in 1894 through the tickets which he could purchase from this third level. If you are here up till now, that means you like the video and you are understanding the chapter. So please subscribe the channel and hit the like button. That will support me and motivate me to make more such videos for you all. So let's move ahead with the explanation. Have you ever been there? It's a wonderful town with big old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice as long and people sat on their lawns. So he's trying to explain you how Galesburg, Illinois is. Galesburg is the name of the city and Illinois is the name of the county. Like we have states in India, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. Similarly, they have counties in America. So he's saying they have big old frame houses. See this image where I'm putting the pointer right now. This is a kind of an old frame house. These type of houses do not find in present 21st century. People construct them on more modern infrastructure. But though in those days these type of houses were constructed with slanting roofs and all. So big old frame houses, big lawns, big trees, and the branch. Suppose trees are like placed like this, and in center you have the road going. So the branches of the trees used to meet overhead, and they used to provide a roof, a natural roof to the road. Understood? People used to sit in their lawns and they used to spend their evening smoking cigars and talking quietly. And women used to wave palm leaf fans. Palm leaf fans means fans which are hand fans which are made out of palm leaves. And fireflies all around. Fireflies in Hindi we call them jugnu in a peaceful world. To be back there was the first World War still 20 years off and the second World War over 40 years off in future. I wanted two tickets of that. So you can imagine how peaceful that world would be, that era would be when First World War is still 20 years away and the Second World War is still 40 years away. People in 1894 have not witnessed any world war. You can imagine that what peaceful and calm atmosphere there was. After World War, all the countries started improving their military force. But before that, the world was not like that. So he's saying it was a calm and peace at a complete different level. The clerk figured the fare. Now he went to the ticket clerk and he asked 2 tickets for Galesburg, Illinois. And as the clerk was figuring out the fare, he glanced at the fancy hatband. See, this is the hat in the image, and you can see this brown portion. This is the hatband. So, for the clerk of 18th century, that particular hatband of 21st century was something unusual, and that is why, as the clerk was figuring out the fare, he was also gazing at the hatband. And after the clerk told the amount, Charlie got to know that he had enough for 2 coach tickets, means 2 tickets for one way. But when I counted the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. He nodded at the bills. That ain't money, mister. But when he counted the money and gave it to the clerk nodded. Nodded means like shaking your head in no. And he said, that ain't money, means this is not money. And if you are trying to skin me means if you are trying to fool me, you won't get very far. And the clerk glanced at the cash drawer beside him. And inside the cash drawer there was money, but this money was the old currency bills which were used in the 1890s. Half again and big as the money we use now. The size of the money was also different, half as big as they use now, and those notes were different looking. I turned away and got out as fast. There's nothing nice about jail in the 1894. So he's saying as soon as I saw that, okay, the currency is different, that is why he's not giving me the tickets. He turned around and he ran as quick as he can, because he's saying 1894 also jails were not good. So the currency differs. And that was that. I left the same way I came, I suppose. The same way as he came from that corridor taking the extreme left, same way he came up. Next day during lunch hour, I drew $300 out of my bank, nearly all we had, and bought old style currency. That worried his psychiatrist friend also, because he told him also, you can buy old money at almost any coin dealer, but you have to pay a premium. So you must be knowing this thing, that if you want to purchase old currency notes, you can purchase it from any coin dealer, but obviously you have to pay a premium. For example, if you want to purchase old style 100 rupees note, you have to maybe pay 150 rupees, maybe 200 rupees, because those currency notes are now unique. So he took out $300. That was the only amount that he had in his bank, and he purchased old currency notes. And his $300 bought less than 200 old style bills, means 100 rupees was taken as the fees. But he didn't care, because that era, 1980, sorry, 1894 and late 80s era, that era was extremely cheap if we compare it to today's prices. And he's saying, he's giving an example that eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894, because he is going back in 1894. Cents are currency which is more lower in value than dollar. Like we have rupee and paisa is much lower in value than the rupee similarly. But I have never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station, although I have tried often enough. But second time, third time, fourth time, whenever he tried to find the third level, he failed. He was not able to find that corridor which took him to the third level from the second level. When he told his wife about this, Loisa was pretty worried, and she told me that I will never look for that third level anymore. And after a while, I also stopped looking for the third level. And to relive that era, I again went back to my stamp collection hobby. Now he is not able to find that third level again. But now we were both looking every weekend. Narrator Charlie and his wife both are looking for the third level. Why? What happened? Because now they have proved that third level existed. Previously, the wife only said that no more searching for the third level. I think you are going insane, or you are turning into a madman. But now the wife is also searching for the third level with him. What happened? There is something that changed their mind. What is that? My friend Sam Wiener disappeared. There was a friend named Sam Wiener and he disappeared. Nobody knew where he went. But Charlie saying, I suspected where Sam was, because Sam's a city boy. City boy here means a person who likes the rural life more than the urban life. And I used to tell him about Galesburg. And he's saying, whenever I used to sit with Sam, I used to always tell him about Galesburg, that how good Galesburg is. I went to the school there. Means his childhood Charlie has spent at Galesburg. And Sam always used to say that he liked the place as it sounds. And there he was in 1894. Now Sam Wiener has disappeared, but why Charlie is so sure that Sam Wiener is in Galesburg, Illinois in the past 1894? Why he is thinking that as I time traveled into 1894 from third level, similarly Sam Wiener has also time traveled in 1894. Why? This is the proof over here. Here we go. Because one night, fuzzing with my stamp collection, fuzzing means looking through his stamp collection, I found, well, do you know what first day cover is? I have already told you what are first day cover. Here also they have explained it. When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use them to main envelopes to themselves on the very first day of the sale. And the postmark proves the date. The envelope is called the first day cover. And they never open it because there is just blank paper inside the envelope. This portion, these 3-4 lines I have already explained in the second slide. If you have not seen that, you go back over there. I have already stuck a photo of also a first day cover there. So this is the first day cover. So he found a first day cover which was not there before, something new. The night among my oldest first day cover, I found one that shouldn't have been there, but there it was. It was there because someone has mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galesburg. That was the address on the envelope, and it has been there since 18th July 1984. So if you have any collection, like collection of rocks, stamp, cards, you know each and every stamp, card or rock of that collection. But he's saying, I found a first day cover which I have never seen in my collection. This collection was known to him. It was passed to him by his father, and this was started by his grandfather. Each and every stamp and first day letter cover was known. But he said that day I found a new first day cover which I have never seen in my collection, and it was there since 1894 because the date which was mentioned over there was July 18, 1894, and the address which was mentioned was his grandfather's address. The postmark showed that I didn't remember it at all. So he's saying postmark shows that this is that same first day cover which was mailed on 18 July 1894. But I never recall finding this first day cover in my collection. This is the first time I am looking at this first day cover in my collection. So where did it come from? The stamp was a 6-cent dull brown with a picture of President Garfield. Now I told you whenever you have to, you must be knowing this also, that whenever you have to post something from the post office, you have to purchase stamp and stick them on the letter or the envelope. So the stamp that was stuck on that was a 6-cent dull brown colored stamp with the picture of President Garfield over it. Naturally, when the envelope came to Granddad in his mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there till I took it out and opened it. So he's saying naturally, whenever this first day cover was mailed, it directly came to my collection because it was mailed to my granddad's address, and that is why it came to his collection, and now it is with me in my collection. And but he has never seen it until now, and so he tore open it, and he started reading it. The paper inside wasn't blank. Now generally first day cover जो होते थे वो blank होते थे, मगर यहाँ पे क्या है, it was not blank. The paper that was found inside is a letter. And what is it written? See here, it is the address. It is mentioned to the address of his Charlie's granddad address when he used to live in Galesburg, Illinois. 941 Willard Street, Galesburg, Illinois, 18 July 1894. And it is written Charlie. It is addressed to Charlie. Surprising. If it was mailed to granddad, अगर ये granddad को mail किया गया था 1894 में, तो why it is mentioned Charlie? Charlie तो तब Charlie was not even born, isn't it? Charlie, I got to wishing that you were right. Then I got to be believing that you were right. And Charlie, it's true. I found the third level. I've been here 2 weeks. And right now, down the street at the Dallies, someone is playing a piano. They are all out in the front porch singing, seeing Nelly home. And I'm invited over for the lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it. Believe me, the note is signed Sam. So below it is signed Sam. Please make sure that it is written by Sam. And in this letter, Sam has given a description of how Galesburg, Illinois is in 1894. And he's saying, Charlie, it is as good as you have described it to me when we used to meet. First, I wish that you were right. And next, I believe that you were right because right now I'm sitting here. Keep searching for the third level because it is worth searching for. It is so good. And he gave a description like down the street, someone is playing the piano. People are standing in the front porch, means front area of their house, and they are singing choruses together. And they have also invited me for lemonade. People are too friendly. Everything is so calm and peaceful. Everybody is quite friendly, and people enjoy their life here in 1894. And he's saying to Charlie that don't lose hope. Find the third level as soon as possible and come here. So this letter was written by Sam, which shows that Sam is there in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894. So after Charlie saw that first day cover, which was a letter from Sam, he went to the stamp, coin and store. At the stamp and coin store, I found out Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. Sam has purchased $800 worth old style currency from the stamp store. Or maybe Sam has time traveled to the past somehow, as Charlie has done it through the third level. Because he has also taken $800 old currency bills. That ought to set him a nice hay, feed and grain business. He always said that that's what he really wished he could do. And he certainly can't go back to the old business. So he's saying that Sam has always said that if he tried to go to the past, he will start a business of hay, feed and grain. Hay means the fodder, और जिसको हिंदी में कहते हैं भूसा, and feed जो animals खाते हैं, cattle animals, and grain business. So he said that I will start a business of hay, feed, and grain. Moreover, he's also saying that Sam cannot go back to his old business. Not in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894, because his old business, because Sam is the one who is his psychiatrist. So here a secret is revealed. The psychiatrist friend about whom we are talking since the beginning of the lesson, he is none other than Sam Weiner. Sam Weiner was the one who was listening to all this Charlie's problem. Charlie had an appointment with him every week, and Charlie used to go over there, and Charlie used to discuss his problems with Sam. Sam was well aware of this Galesburg, Illinois of the 1894 because Charlie has discussed everything that how he used to go over there through through third level, and Sam is now missing. And Charlie is believing that Sam is there at the third level. Now, what could be the outcome? क्या थर्ड लेवल वाकई में रियलिटी में कोई जगह है या सिर्फ चार्ली की इमेजिनेशन थी? क्या सैम वाकई में थर्ड लेवल में है कि नहीं? These questions can be cleared with 2-3 questions. ज़्यादा नहीं, मैं यहाँ पे 2-3 क्वेश्चन आपके साथ डिस्कस करूंगा which are there in your NCERT book. And these questions are very important for you to understand if you want to decode this chapter कि ये चैप्टर आखिर लॉजिक क्या है, या इस चैप्टर को अगर पूरी तरह समझना है तो ये 3 क्वेश्चन जरूर समझिए मेरे से. We'll start with the first one. Do you think that third level was a medium of escape for Charlie? Why? इसका आंसर है Yes, I think that the third level was a medium of escape for Charlie. Life in modern world is full of insecurities, fear, war, worries and stress. Man has to confront them at all times. Means today's life is filled with insecurity, fear, war, worries, and we have to struggle throughout our life with these things, and no man can avoid these things. The harsh realities of the life makes life quite unpleasant and even unbearable. Sometimes situations get so worse that they are unbearable for us. So he wants to escape into a wishful world. A wishful world means a world which he has always wished for, a world of his imagination. Charlie talks to his psychiatrist friend, who later on turns out to be Sam Weiner only, about the third level at the Grand Central Station. His friend calls it a waking dream wish fulfillment. I've already discussed you what waking dream wish fulfillment is. If you have missed it, Go back to the video. Charlie possesses an escapist tendency. Escapist tendency means where you do not want to face your problems, you always want to escape from them, you always want to run away from them. Charlie also has this tendency that he always wanted to escape, and that is why he imagined a third level. Even his stamp collection is a temporary refuge from reality. Through stamp collection also, he tried to be quite nostalgic, and he tried to live in the past era, previous era, the era of the 18th and the 19th century. So this stamp collection hobby is also one of the proof that Charlie had an escapist tendency and he wanted to go to a imaginary world. And yes, at the beginning of the answer you can see, yes, third level is a medium of escape for Charlie. Means third level is not a reality, it is an outcome of Charlie's imagination. ठीक है, थर्ड लेवल कोई रियल प्लेस नहीं है. अब दूसरा क्वेश्चन आता है कि सर अगर थर्ड लेवल कोई रियल प्लेस नहीं है तो सैम वीनर का लेटर कहां से आया, है ना. उसका भी आंसर एक क्वेश्चन के थ्रू मैं एक्सप्लेन करता हूं. व्हाट डू यू इन्फर फ्रॉम सैम्स लेटर टू चार्ली? व्हाट वाज दैट लेटर? द आंसर इज द वे चार्ली केम अक्रॉस सैम्स लेटर वाज सराउंडेड इन मिस्ट्री. देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ मिस्टीरियस थिंग्स अबाउट देयर. बहुत सी ऐसी चीजें जो समझ में नहीं आती है कि चार्ली के स्टैम्प कलेक्शन में एक नया फर्स्ट डे कवर कहां से आ गया. क्या जादू से आ गया? इट वाज मैजिक और व्हाट? और वो फर्स्ट डे कवर के अंदर सैम का लेटर कैसे है? तो इट इज अ मिस्ट्री. Among his oldest first day covers, he found an envelope. These were the covers which were there in the collection from many years. And in between those covers, suddenly a new first day cover appears. What is this? The envelope contains the letter bearing the address of his grandfather. The letter contains the address of his grandfather, means it was addressed to grandfather. The same address where Charlie's grandfather used to live in Galesburg, Illinois. It was written on 18th July 1984 in the past. तो सैम ने वो लेटर 1894 में लिखा. The postmark showed the picture of President Garfield. Generally, the first day covers have blank papers in them. This I have already told you. But this one contained a letter. The letter was addressed to Charlie. And how? How in 1894 Sam can address to Charlie when Charlie was not even born in that time? This means that Sam has traveled over there in 1894. But this one contained a letter. The letter was addressed to Charlie. In the letter, Sam has informed Charlie that he was living on the third level. He had also told Charlie that his wife to keep looking for the third level. Clearly, the letter is a product of Charlie's imagination. This letter is nothing but Charlie's imagination. There was no such kind of letter in Charlie's stamp collection in reality. सच में चार्ली के स्टैम्प कलेक्शन में कोई ऐसा नया लेटर नहीं आया था. ये सब चार्ली इमेजिन कर रहा है because he is mentally sick. He is suffering from a problem, and that problem has been highlighted here as escapist tendency, where a person try to escape from his reality and try to live in an imaginary world which he creates in his own mind. Okay, so this letter is nothing, this letter is not a reality, it is just an outcome of Charlie's imagination. Third and last question. Do you see an intersection of time and space in this story? क्या टाइम ट्रैवल स्टोरी में दिखाया गया है, टाइम और स्पेस का इंटरसेक्शन दिखाया गया है? Yes, there are certain instances in that story that shows an intersection of time and space. Firstly, the first two levels of the Grand Central were located in the present time, while the third level existed in the 1819s. So ये पहला instance, first instance where time travel has been shown, that two levels are in the present era and third level goes to 1890s. Secondly, Charlie and his wife Loisa living in the present time, yet he rushes to get old currency to buy two tickets to go to Galesburg in 1894. Further, the old architecture of the platform of the third level is different from of modern platforms of two different levels. The architecture of the third level is completely different from the first and the second level. Here also an intersection of time and space has been shown. Next, the archaic manner of dressing by the people, the old manner in which the people were dressed. The newspaper The World, which was dated 11 June 1984, also overlaps with Charlie's real-time world of existence. Or last but सबसे important, the letter that was mailed to Charlie's grandfather on 18 July 1894, highlighting the intersection of time and space as the sender Charlie's friend and receiver Charlie himself belong to the present time. चार्ली का फ्रेंड सैम जिसने लेटर भेजा था, द सेंडर ऑफ द लेटर, एंड चार्ली who's the receiver of the letter, both belong to the present era, but still in this chapter it is shown that sender of the letter, Charlie's friend Sam Wiener, is writing this letter from past 18 July 1984, Galesburg, Illinois. Here also it shows an intersection of time and space in the story. To be more precise, time travel. So this is where the chapter ends. I hope you are clear with the chapter. This chapter is quite complicated, but I have tried to explain it in the best way possible with images, and I have also discussed the last three answers with you so that you can understand them in a better way. You can see on your screen. Please subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, hit the like button. It will motivate me to make more such videos for you. इट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स, बहुत मेहनत लगती है इस तरह की वीडियोस बनाने में। और अगर आप चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करेंगे, वीडियो को लाइक करेंगे, बेल आइकन को प्रेस करेंगे तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, मुझे खुशी होगी और मैं मोटिवेट होऊंगा ताकि मैं और इस तरह की वीडियोस आपके लिए लाता रहूं। सो इट्स बाय फॉर नाउ, हैप्पी लर्निंग।